Hi Flosstube, I'm Lorrie and welcome to Once Upon a Stitch. Today is March 15th, the Ides of March, the day Julius Caesar was stabbed on the steps. It is my 26th Flosstube video, and I just realized that at the 26th of this month, March, it will be my 1 year since I made my first Flosstube. So, but you know what? I still get as nervous as that first time. I get all tongue-tied before I start. I have it all laid out, and then I'm ready to go, and then I'm like, can I do this? Anyway, maybe by my third year I should get it down pat. So thanks for subscribing to my channel. Thanks for coming back and visiting with me. It's always a pleasure when you make a comment, and we can converse a little bit through that way. I hope you enjoy your visit with me today. I'm going to give you a little update of life, answer questions, go over the new starts that I had this month, see where I am with my whips, and then finally there might be a little surprise, and then I'm going to show you my Stitch 9 that Michelle Rudy, the farm girl stitcher, had put out there to complete 9 projects this year. Now, it's basically for the people who had a lot of whips already, but there were no rules, so you can start new things. So there's stuff that I said were in my 9 that I didn't even start yet. I think I'm starting it next month, one of them. But I'll go through the 9 and show you where I went and with that. A little update. My son James was on a business trip for a week in Germany, and Sal and I went to pick him up at the airport, and he had a really bad cold. He thought he got food poisoning over there, so the good mom that I am, I made him homemade soup for when he came back, and then I sent him home with some. He stopped over at the house, had some lunch, early dinner, and then he went home. I also went with Amy and her mom, James's fiance, dress shopping again, and I think she's going to say yes to the dress. She's going to go back tomorrow, Saturday, and try it on. She's bringing her sister and maybe a cousin and friend one last time before she actually signs on the dotted line. It was gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful dress. She looked gorgeous in it. So we're all excited that we have another thing checked off the list. I'm looking down because I have my notes and I don't want to forget them, and because I would forget, not telling you everything I want to share with you. I've been watching a lot of YouTube, and I've watched a lot from Nashville Market and seeing all the new patterns, and yes, there's so many that I want to get, but I'm not as anxious as everybody to run out there and get them. If when I go to my LNS, if they have them in, I will definitely pick them up. If he's sold out of them, I know he'll get them in again. I already have like up until August planned of what I'm stitching, so everything that I get now I have to work into my rotation of starting and seeing where I go from there. So I'm in no big rush, but I'll get it all. Eventually I will get it. Let's see. Okay, some questions from the last video. People have asked me about this quilt. I stitched this quilt in 1998, and it's all done by hand. It's a hand applique, and then I even pieced. This is before I started using my sewing machine to piece. Even like the large pieces, the only thing I would piece would be the binding. That's the only thing I would stitch on my sewing machine, would be the binding. But everything was done by hand, and somebody asked me about it, so I looked for the pattern, and they call it Little Eureka Quilts. Now this says a Baltimore Star. I guess it's the outside picture, the outside motif is considered the Baltimore Star, but as you can see, it's a basket of flowers. Now, I will never do this again. If anybody is interested in this, just tell me you're interested in the basket, and I would be more than happy to send this pattern to you. I have the templates included. I will send you everything that's in here. It does say it's for intermediate to advanced, but if you're willing and you have the patience to cut it out and applique by hand, you can do it, because if I can do it, I feel anybody can do it. Okay, so when I found that one, I know somebody asked me about the angel quilt that I had here. I think it was in December, or was it January? I found the pattern. It was in a bag with the other one, and it's a Debbie Mum pattern, and it's a gathering of angels. There's not much to this other than a sheet of the angel patterns that you would cut out and fuse on. I guess you could hand stitch it if you want. I fused it on, and then I just drew in the faces. You can applique them in. I will also share this. Anybody interested in this pattern, ask for the angels. As always, you have to be 18 years old or older so that you can share your address with me. You have to be able to contact me on either my email address or Instagram. Most likely Instagram, I seem to be get them easier and quicker. Somebody said they sent me a message and I had not received it, so she sent it on Instagram, and it worked right away, and I was able to get out that last pattern. All the recipients received their giveaways, and so I was happy about that. And on that note, also Sue, I'm gonna kill the last name, Pac Rant, sent me a thank you card, and I believe she made it. It's thanks so much. I don't know if it'll pick up the words, but it's a handmade card, and she put a lovely message inside. So you're welcome, Sue, and I hope you enjoyed the pattern. Okay, somebody asked if Amy would ever join. I keep looking down because I'm looking at myself, but I know I should be looking at the camera. In the last video, it was a little bit easier because I videoed from my laptop, but now I have that outside camera that I'm using because it seems like the lighting was better when I hooked it up. I was having trouble last month with it, last 2 weeks ago. Anyway, sorry, I'm just going off on a tangent. Amy asked if Amy would ever come on a video. I think if she was ever here when I was doing one, of course she's always welcome to join me. She's not a cross stitcher. She always says that she thinks she would enjoy it if she started. But at this time, they're just so busy with the wedding and the planning and everything else. I think she just doesn't need one thing more to tack on to it. But what I am going to do is, I don't know if you remember Diana DeGarmo, if any of you remember that name. She was an American Idol. I believe she was one of the winners in one of the seasons. And she married another, I think he was a winner in American Idol, Ace Young. They married, and Amy is, it's hard to explain, but there's a possible off-Broadway play that she may be in called Hit Her with the Skates. And Diana DeGarmo, Ace Young is maybe in it along with Amy. Amy plays a younger version of this older girl, and Diana DeGarmo is the older girl. So not to give too much away, there is YouTube videos with Amy singing with Diana, and I don't have a link, but I will tell you the name of it below if you're interested. It's Diana DeGarmo and Amy Toporek. Forward Motion is the name of the song, and you'll see Amy dressed as the young girl, and then you'll see her dressed in street clothes I believe she was taping the song for a soundtrack. Okay. Next, I want to thank Vonna Pfeiffer and Christi from Java Girl Stitches for the shout-outs. And it was cute to hear Vonna pronounce my last name. And she was like, it's an Italian name, and I think she did a great job. And you know what? What's in a name? Any other name, a rose would smell as sweet. So, but I'm going to tell you, growing up, I never liked my name. And I'm talking about my real name, which is Loretta. I don't know, I guess it was dated from years ago. I know there was an actress once named Loretta Young, but it was, I don't know, I just felt like it wasn't me. And then I married my husband, whose last name is Chicalone. And if anybody knows, I know one person did comment to me once about Sophia Loren. Sophia Loren, the actress, last name was Chicalone before she changed it to Loren. So just recently I was thinking about this, and because I figured, you know, telling YouTube my last name and people may be hesitant about saying it, I should have been Loretta Loren. Enough said. I know you don't want to hear any more of this, but let's get on to what I have finished. Okay, the first one is the year of celebrations, and I'm up to May. So this was a start in March that I did, and I did my first button bow, and when I hang it on the other wooden frame that I have, I'll attach this so that it doesn't cover the stitching. But I did my first button bow, and it wasn't that bad. I got the pieces that you push in and everything, and it worked out really well. So that was the first start and finish. Then I also stitched, this was a new start for this month, Bent Creek Summer Row. And a little bit closer. This I pulled off the freebie table at New Jersey Retreat, and I finished stitching it. It's not an FFO. Let's see, the A starts there. And it didn't come with any of the buttons. Whoever put it on the table, I'm sure, used whatever buttons came with it. And that's that one. If anybody's interested in Summer Row, please let me know that you'd like to stitch summer. I don't know if I went over the rules of the 18. Don't say a giveaway. And I will pick the winners. Let's see, I'll probably tape around the 30th of March. So I'll pick the winner on the 28th of March. It shuts down the 28th of March at midnight. Okay, so summer. But it doesn't have any of the buttons. And now that I rethink about it, some of the symbols didn't match up. But by looking at the picture and figuring it out, it was, you know, I did the best that I can. So that's a finish, but not an FFO on a new start. And then I was going to do Farm Fresh Eggs. This one here from Hands On Designs. I started it. I had such a hard time seeing. Now this is 16 count Aida. I sat in my normal place. I had my aunt light over me. Couldn't do it. And I started this on a Saturday during the day so that I can see how I was going to adjust to work on it that evening and during the day. I went by these sliding glass doors, not in the sunlight, couldn't see it at all. I had to go into a shadow by the front door, and I still struggled. And then I tried a light underneath me. Long story short, I found a piece of, it doesn't really show how pretty, it's a yellow, let's see, maybe back here, Farm Fresh Eggs, and it's on Moon Glow, and I I changed up the colors of it since it's no longer on black. So it's basically green, brown, and red with the little pink flowers at the top. You can see that. And I made a small bow, but I'm going to get some burlap ribbon and make it a larger bow and then display it. I haven't decided how exactly I'll display it, but I added rickrack. And that was my third start for this month and a finish. Then this was not started this month. I started this, I don't remember when, but I finally finished it. I found this at Hobby Lobby. And Land That I Love. I think I might get a trim for it because it's not absolutely perfectly circular. It has a magnet in the back, a flag. I put the magnet there, so I can change it up. I'm going to put some kind of trim, but I don't think I want a red because this is more of a burgundy red, and then I'm going to get a ribbon. I had a patriotic ribbon, but it was a ribbon that was stamped on one side, and the colors didn't go through. So as you tied it, the back of the ribbon was white. So you can use it as a flat finish, but not as a bow. So I'm going to get some kind of something maybe to tie around here. And then I was thinking I could have also maybe tacked something hanging from here, but getting carried away. So Land That I Love, I sent that on to someone as a little surprise. And okay, so those are the finishes that I had. Oh, one more that's not cross stitch, but I did it. I made the crocheted basket that Lorrie from Mischievous Stitches made and talked about in her videos. And it is from Jayda In Stitches, Jayda. I'll write it below in the notes. And I used 3 balls of yarn, and you stitch it using all together, all 3 stitches. And it wasn't a variegated. They call for doing it on variegated yarn. But what I bought were yarns that look like this. And I bought another one because what I did was I stitched this one so I can get the hang of it, so that I can show the ladies that I meet up with on Tuesday. We're going to kind of do it together again. So they're basically, I don't know how they call them. They're not variegated, but they go from different tints. So I bought 3. And what's nice about these, I got these at Hobby Lobby. And this is the third one. And they're different colors of blues. Let's see if I can do this. Different colors of blues at different times. So when you stitch them together, it will be somewhat variegated. It'll mix up and knit up as a variegated yarn. So it took me like 3 days to finish. I was going to the library on Tuesday. We meet up at noon to 2 o'clock. So when I was having my coffee, I said, I'm going to see if I can start this. So what I do is I have to listen to the video. She tells me what I do in round 1. I stop it, do it, round 2. Okay, do it, stop it. And that's how I managed to do it. So I did the whole base in about an hour and a half. And then I finished up the sides like 2 days later. Okay, so that's all my finishes. One other thing that I want to tell you about is that I won a giveaway, and it was Welcome Spring by Brenda Gervais, and it was from Leslie Hurley. She's also known as Fat Cat Stitching. And I love this pattern. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll get it done for this spring, but it will be put in my rotation, and I definitely will have it done by next spring because I love it. And when I put in for a giveaway, I want to stitch it. Like, I'm going to stitch it, so I'm going to put it in my rotation. Okay, so the rest of the starts that I had for March. Another one was Indigo Lane. So I had 6 starches. I had 6 starts and I finished 3. So the next one is Brenda Gervais Indigo Lane, and this is how far I've gotten on it. So I can get both in here. So the top left corner I started and then made my way to get to the house. So again, my rotations are, I stitch on, sorry, excuse me, I stitch on something for 2 days and then I go to the next. Okay, the next one was, that I started was Puntini Puntini, and that's Welcome Summer. And this is how far I've gotten on that one. I just started the palm tree and the fence. Now, in the pattern, it has a birdhouse here, and it includes the button, so I'll put the button there. But it also has where you can has the pattern so that you can stitch the birdhouse if you want to do that. So that's how far I've gotten on that one. The next one I started was Oh Say Can You See. I was looking at this and I was, because I write down everything. I write down what I'm working on, how many days I worked on it, and then this way I keep track to get an idea of like if something, how long something took me to stitch. If it's 4 days, 5 days, 20 days. But of course I don't do the hours, because some days I can stitch 4 hours, some days I'll stitch 3 hours, some days I might stitch 6 hours. So, but I noticed that when I was writing this, I looked at the title and it says, Oh Can You See, S-E-E, and then over here is S-E-A. So I wrote it different ways in my notes, different times. So that's the pattern, and this is how far I've gotten. Oh Say Can You Say. So I have to finish C, and then the jellyfish and submarine. And then eventually I will try and turn that into a drum, but no real quick plans on that one. That will be a challenging thing. Next one, this now is not a new start. Those were the 6 new starts that I had. Then I had 2 more days before I was going to film, so I worked on, because I didn't get to this last month, Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery Once Upon a Time sampler. And this is where I've gotten on that. I finished the February block, which is I think the Princess and the Frog, and then I started the 3 Little Pigs. So I got a pig and a half, the sky and the house, the brick house, and that I just took off the Q-snap this morning because I worked on it on the 2-day rotation, and I was going to then start working on my regular whips for the rest of the month. We had internet issues lately, and yesterday we were totally out, and somebody came this morning. They were scheduled to come between 7:30 and 10, and he showed up at 8, and it's all fixed. And now why did I tell you that? Oh, so it gave me time to think of what I was going to, like, what's in my next rotation, and it was going to be Joy by RETM, but tomorrow night I am going to a cousin's house. We get together every quarterly, and we get together, we have dinner, we play cards, we have laughs, and so it's a night that I'm not going to be stitching. If I get some stitching time during the day, great. If not, that's going to be my second day of something that I'm going to be stitching on. So I didn't want to do it on Joy, because I need the time on Joy, because it's one of my 9 for my stitch 9, and I do need the time. So those are things that I keep in mind when I plan what I'm going to stitch in 1 month, what days of the month. And the other thing I didn't do is I didn't allow for days off. The days off, if so be it, whatever it is, that piece is going to lose the day. but because then otherwise it'll just start putting everything back. So I just, whatever it is that day I can't stitch, then I'm going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to work it, that piece I'm not stitched on, and then I'll move on to the next one. I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. You know what, I don't want to forget anything, which I did. I have another finish that I forgot to show, and it is Easter Parade by Brenda Gervais, and this is on ivory 28 count Lugana, and I put some trim on it, and I put it in this basket. When I set it downstairs, I'm going to lift it so that you can see more of the pattern. And okay. I'm almost tempted to restart this whole video, but okay. I got a piece of fabric that I had that matched the flower, and I changed his vest, and I changed the color of the chick, which was a little more brown. I made it more yellow, and there's a piece of fuzz on it, and that's my finish for Easter Parade. Okay, I'm all over the place, I'm sorry. Okay, next I'm going to do haul. I went to Needleworkers and I needed some classic color work, so I got Eve's Leaves and Stepping Stone. Yeah. And I bought some DMC floss that I needed for Once Upon a Time. And I bought another package of the petite needles, and it's funny because I think in the last video I said I'm going to work on with petite needles and see how I like them. And I do like them. I like them a lot, especially when I am at the end of the thread and I need to get those couple of stitches in. Really nice. So I have a bunch on a table that I work at night. It's sort of like a rolling cart. And I keep all my needles there and everything else that I need. And so I happened to pick up one of the other needles because I had thread in this one and I was going to use it, and I said, oh, but I have to do a couple of stitches. So I picked up another needle. I felt like I was stitching with a pencil. That's how, I mean, this thing seemed like it was like this long when I was stitching with it. It was the weirdest feeling in the world. I guess it was just because I got used to the other one already so quickly. Some people don't like petite, some people don't like big. Sorry, I'm shaking the table. Okay, these are the patterns that I had ordered that came in. This is the Tiny Modernist Biscogne. This will be the first Biscogne I attempt. I love the bird cages. Okay, next was Rosewood Manor, and it's Buckleberry Sampler. Now, as everybody says a lot of times, you can't go by the picture, because I saw Deb from Country Stitchers. Hi Deb, hi Liz. Deb is working on this pattern and the colors were just so beautiful. They were like so feminine, and so I had to get it. So I got it, and I probably won't get to this till probably after summer, but I love that one. Then French pattern, and it's called, in English, I think it was listed as Egg Hunt. And I love this. It's by Tralala. And for those French people, there's the title of it in Francaise. And I think it's adorable, adorable. Of course, I'm not going to get it done this year, but again, into my pile. Then I picked up Prairie Schooler, and this is Christmas Eve. I saw this maybe like over a year ago when I started being in tune to all the different patterns that there are in cross stitching. I love this pattern, and now I see a few people stitching it, so it reminded me that I should get it just to have in my stash. The last one I showed you was Country Village, and this one is Christmas Village by Prairie Schooler. So I like that one as well. All patterns, like that's what I want to do now. When I start getting patterns, I want to work it into my rotation so that I start them. And then when I get to, I don't know, maybe August, September, I haven't decided yet, I will do what Julie from Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World is doing. 2 finishes and 1 new start. And so that I can get my whips down that way. So I'll have whips to get down. Okay, so the pick 9 for the 9 challenge that I am stitching, here it is. One of them was Easter Parade. So this was a finish on that. Another finish that I had was Keys by Shakespeare's Peddler. And I finished that one. A third one was a Prairie Schooler. It was the July. I didn't FFO this, but I finished stitching it. Let's see. Ben Creek was another one, which was I showed you earlier. And then another one that is in my 9 is, I'm not going to show you where I am on it because I didn't do anything since the last time you saw it, but it was the High Heels collection number 2. This was one of the 9. Snow White by the Primitive Hare. And when I see all these large projects and I'm only working on them 2 days a month, I can't imagine them being done. Maybe come, I don't know. I was going to say maybe come like October, I'll put maybe 3 days into them. But okay, the next one is Joy, and I'm maybe halfway done. And like I said, I just can't imagine me completing the 9. But you know what? It's a challenge, and if I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. And this is the next one. That's the last of my 9, which I have not started. It is Little House Needleworks, Home of a Needleworker. And this is going to get started in April. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I know I've been a little all over the place. So I'm going to treat you, because of my craziness, to another giveaway. And it's going to be Plum Street Gould Tidings. And that's the photo. Let's see. And for this one, just say you'd like to stitch Plum Street. So we have, I like to stitch Plum Street. I'd like to stitch Summer. And then I'd like the basket pattern, or I'd like the angel pattern. And I will be more than happy to share them with you. I hope you are not too angry with the video today. I hope I was okay. I love meeting with you guys. I love watching those that make videos. I love chatting with those of you that do not, but leave me comments. So if you like this, please subscribe. If you don't, come back anyway. Maybe the next one I'll do better. Alrighty, take care. Have a great week, and get a lot done. Bye.